So Delia, you bringing in the peppers?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little chilly tonight.
And what is the temp going to be?
I think they're calling for like 48.
And that isn't a problem, but it could be lower, couldn't it?
It could be lower, plus they say the pepper plants don't like it up below 50. So.
Yeah, so we're following that lead, but show them, I mean, these are all replanted. And what is this one? That one's Gordo?
This one's Gordo. These are all jalapenos.
Okay, they always are a little smaller, ain't they?
Yeah, these are, what are these? Red Knights.
Red Knights, the whole tray?
The whole tray.
So we had a little bit better.
So this one, yeah, so this one has not been split up yet. They're still in
But
the
they
original.
Actually did better.
Yeah, last year they stunk.
They just stunk. That's the way to call it. And these over here
those are
are a combination of...
These are all leftovers, so there's different hot peppers. There's different hot peppers and different sweet peppers.
Okay. Now, people talk about...
Now, I don't know what happened to this plant. He decided he was not going to make it.
it's bit.
Yeah,
it's broke or whatever.
But he's in the middle, so I don't see how he could have broken.
Well, anyway, we're mid-70s today. Beautiful out, really, and they're getting their sunshine. But peppers take a while, don't they? I mean,
do.
So we're going to build another building. These won't really go into the ground until I say. We're going to put a little bit in the ground, but they don't really go in until May for us. And there's going to be outside under a shade cloth. Right. So that's
not going to be protected by the wind or anything.
No, we're going to take a chance. That's why we're still going to have it inside of the one row in there. Just take it. We're not going to, we got to make sure, but we should beat the system in a way. But anyway, that's what we're doing. And but the tomatoes and all that we're leaving outside. So just going ahead and, is this all of them?
No, I got another.
You got a whole nother thing. So what's coming up over here?
These are just ones that did not warned as fast as these, but I figured let me give them a chance.
These right there.
Yeah. They were from the same tray.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you planted them in the big trays to begin with. Okay.
They were in the smaller trays, and these were big enough to transfer out, and those were tiny. I'm like, well, I'm not going to trash them.
Okay.
But I'm not going to leave them in the other tray.
Oh, so to tie up a tray just for a few. I got you. Okay.
So I put them there, see if they make it or not.
Yeah. Well, you got to check up on things when you're the head muck-a-muck on a place. So
head muck-a-muck. Head
muck-a-muck. That's my title. You guys eat up all your alfalfa already? Yeah. You got some alfalfa here. Yeah. It's not a total bust. Let's put the other batch on the other side. So I'm getting ready to put in some more plants here. The first thing I want to do is, you guys can use whatever stake you want. I happen to have some rebar T-stakes that I made up. So we want to hammer them in. These are 18 to 24 inches. Most of them are 24 inches. Great for concrete forms, things like that. And it's nice to pull them out, but leave about that much out so we have something to hold on to. Then I'm going to go ahead here and start putting out hoops. And all you got to do, you know, I think about every 10 feet so we got a hoop. But once you have it, you don't have to measure them anymore. All you got to do is put the hoops out. So I have all the hoops put in, and now it's time for me to attach this end into my stake I just drove. So I'm going to try to, it's a little breezy, but I'll try to get it wadded up here in a manner that this can be opened up on the hoop. I go around my T-stake, folks, and the next thing you do is you go and zip tie it. If you can get that thing in. There we go. Make her nice and tight near the stake. There we go, got one, and go ahead and do a second as well, and you go backwards into it, don't you, Delia?
I don't.
I thought you did.
No. I think the one time we did because it was very, very long.
Yeah, I'll come back around at one time just to, there we go. So I don't have much of a tag hanging out here. Okay. I'm just using up some of that tag there because we have a little extra rows. There we go. So I have this all tight. Delia, you're going to go and put your string on it now. So the first thing, next thing she did is tied it up around the stake, and this creates kind of like a ridge pole. And you double it here, don't you, to give?
I go on the one side and the other so it doesn't slip that much.
Right.
Slips,
you kind of add a little tension to it. And you do gotta, I can hold it for you, that way it'll help you. Yeah, it pretty much holds itself now, don't it?
Yeah, once you go around both sides.
Yeah. So she makes kind of a ridge pole. We just found, folks, you get less sagging, don't it, Delia?
Right, so you can see where it stays up and top.
Yeah, yeah, it's not falling down into your plants and all that. So, yeah, it does a real nice job. I'm gonna grab my hammer and another T stake, and I'll meet Delia down there. We'll see, which won't take long. One word of caution: I advise anybody using the row covers is make sure you have a lot of sandbags, and even probably more than what we got here. To be honest with you, if you get a bad windy day, it will lift it up, won't it, Delia? Yeah. So we've had. But it ain't just but even the row covers, they were blowing like crazy in that 35-mile-an-hour sustained winds yesterday. So yeah, it was quite an event. So I'm currently right now pre-soaking my holes. You wonder why is there duct tape there? Well, the wind blew so bad that we ended up having to patch some holes. If you let those plastic holes say, well, it's just a small hole, it ain't gonna hurt anything, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have weeds growing out of them holes, and you've just defeated your purpose. So we bought some cheap duct tape just to get us through this, and we'll finish patching other holes once we get it. You can see how the water line's puffed up there, so that's really nice. Yeah, this is a very good deal. Well, Delia's about down here, so I'm going to go ahead and stretch out that row fabric and verify how much I have. So I really want to get that nice and tight. I tell you what I'm going to do, Delia. I'm going to make sure I know where the top is. I'm going to walk it back. You follow what I mean? Because otherwise it's... All right. Let me stretch it out good. Yeah, this here's a nice one. We got it? Yep. I just gotta crunch it all up. You feel pretty good? It's tight, or do you want to lift up that edge down there, Delia? I'll hold it here if you go up there and yeah, just kind of make sure that edge is pulled up, because there is a nice gap of. No, I got it right here, Delia. That ain't the top.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, that's the top. Yeah.
You want me to put it over?
No, well, I guess you can.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Well, you see how it's far to the left over there? Maybe that's because the hoops is over that way. Never mind. Yeah, we're okay. I'll pull it tight. I see what it is now. This row I got crookeder. All right. Crookeder. That's an English word. All right. So now I got that in. I'm gonna hammer this in, and going at an angle because there's quite a bit of pressure. That's how to do it. And you got the other zip ties. Now we'll have both ends anchored very well. I know putting in row covers isn't that exciting of a topic, but by golly, it works. Yeah, I'll just do another one. Let me put one more there. Yeah, we always go with 2 zip ties. I'm telling you, you don't want to be caught where all of a sudden this thing's flopping in a 50, 60 mile an hour wind. These will come off once the plants outgrow them, but other than that, there we go. So Delia will anchor this now. Now that I know how the rows are, I can go ahead and start doing my planting. Whether I finish it today or not doesn't make any difference. The point being is now I can go ahead and I know right where the rows begin. Like I wouldn't want to put a plant right here. Right. It's not high enough. I can do one up to here or something, but
I was doing it right here.
Yeah, well, that's you. Wasting space. There's an invaluable 18 inches in there somewhere.
No, once that plant is full.
And you could have it here. Put one right in the middle.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, it's all good. It's really good. No, this is how we do our row covers. Real quick, for those of you who've never used row covers or consider using row covers, the row covers for us is a game changer on our farm. Whether you're growing for yourself or you're growing for a commercial enterprise, something along that line, I want you to understand there's one major advantage to having row covers, and that's the fact you can get your plants out much earlier. In the spring times, no matter where you live, you do have more winds. Kansas has their fair share, but the row covers do more than just protect against frost. They also prevent the early plants from snapping their necks. We look under here and we have some nice viable plants in a nice environment. We use row covers to prevent the cabbage from being broken off at the ground level from the wind whipping them and stuff like that. Same way with the broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. All that can get its bud handed to it just due to the wind. So